Hello everyone, this is Dinocheirus from Prehistoric Facts, and this is a Q&A episode, so let's actually get started, shall we? So Lukezilla, you got some questions for me. Your first question, did Megalodon have barnacles growing on their body? So, would Megalodon have these, barnacles? So these, crustacean-like things that are sticking out like you see on, some whales and some other creatures in the ocean. I mean, sea turtles can get these, but mostly whales, sea turtles, usually get these. Sharks rarely get them. Mainly because their skin is just really, really tough for barnacles to attach to them. But is it a possibility that some barnacles could actually be attached to Megalodon? It's a possibility, but I highly doubt it because, I highly doubt that they had them that much because of the fact that their skin is just really, really tough. Because shark skin, when you actually go with the pattern, it actually is a little bit, it almost feels smooth. But when you actually go against the grain, then that's when you actually get cuts. And see, shark skin is kind of, got these scale-like features that almost look like teeth. And so when you look at a microscope of shark skin, it just looks very similar to teeth. And so that's why, when people have some sort of scraping injuries from sharks, it's not just mostly from teeth; it's mostly from their skin. It's mostly from shark skin. And so, could Megalodon have barnacles? Maybe, but not very often. I'd probably say they didn't have them very often. Your next question: did Inostrancevia give birth or lay eggs? That is a really good question. Did they lay eggs or did they give birth? That is to be determined. We don't have fossils of what the young of Gorgonopsians were. Did they hatch from eggs? Did they actually were they almost like mammals where they actually did give birth to live young? That is still to be determined. But even though that Inostrancevia is a synapsid that is actually heading towards the lineage of mammals, is it a possibility that they did give birth to live young? That's a possibility. But there's also a possibility that they did lay eggs. So I would say to be determined for that one. To be determined. Then your next question. How long could the Indoraptor from Jurassic World survive in the Jurassic period? I could see him lasting for quite some time, but only if he stays away from Torvosaurus and Sauropods. And so, would Indoraptor from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom survive in the Jurassic period? I think it could survive in the Jurassic period for a good period of time, but then competing against larger predators say Torvosaurus and Sauropods, mainly Sauropods, would be the biggest problem. But yeah, I'd probably say it would last for quite a while, but then it's just got to stay away from Torvosaurus and Sauropods, but mostly from Sauropods. I do agree with you as that it has to stay away from those larger predators. And then your last question, is the Walking with Dinosaurs remake going to be similar to Prehistoric Planet? That is a really good question. I don't have the answers for that one, but could they actually have the same designs as say the ones some of the dinosaurs in Prehistoric Planet, Apple TV Plus's Prehistoric Planet? I wouldn't be surprised that they did do that, but then of course, could this be something where BBC goes well, yeah, we can actually use some of the models from Prehistoric Planet, but then also we need to make our own models and actually make them as paleontologically accurate as possible from those. Because one of the criticisms from Prehistoric Planet is that the T-Rexes just look the same. They just look the same. They look like the exact same T-Rex, and the T-Rex that they were modeling after was Sue. And there was no differentiation from any of these T-Rexes. They still look like the big, muscular, girthy T-Rex like Sue. But could they actually do a T-Rex that is slightly different compared to the ones on Prehistoric Planet. That's still a possibility. Maybe they actually use the model of Stan, or did they use the model of the American Museum of Natural History specimen? Do they use the nation's T-Rex, or Scotty? Which one did they go for? And like, yeah, that's a really good question. I think it's really, really good. It's a really high chance that they could actually do that. Really high chance that they could do that. But yeah, don't be surprised if they do use some of the same models from Prehistoric Planet into the Walking with Dinosaurs remake. Don't be surprised by that. All right, Nicholas. How long is the lifespan of Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, and Mosasaurus compared to a T-Rex, since they are as large or possibly larger than T-Rex? Could their lifespans be the same or not? I don't know the answer to that. I probably would say is that they're not going to be as similar to T-Rex. Because first and foremost, T-Rex growth rate is so different compared to most other predatory dinosaurs. Because most predatory dinosaurs, they actually are like fully grown. Like large predatory dinosaurs are mostly fully grown by the time they're actually like 11 or 12 years old. But whereas T-Rex, they're actually stay small till all the way towards 11 or 12 years old, and then that's when their growth, and then by like 12 or 13 years old, that's when their growth spurt starts to skyrocket. And so I would say they're not going to be similar. I don't know how long they would actually live for the Carcharodontosaurs. I really don't know. I would probably say that like there's a possibility they could live to their 30s, but there's more likely a chance that they could actually live like in their 20s or even 25 years old. Not have long of a lifespan compared to T-Rex. But we don't know. We do not know that one. Next one. Do you remember about the article about Nanotyrannus is a Tryptosaurus that I brought up, and how has it been going for regular bones and that sort of thing? But like, like the one question that that you were talking about of like Nanotyrannus as a Tryptosaurus, I'd probably say it's basically that it was talking about the article that was brought out about like Nanotyrannus possibly being like a new like a different species all over again. Because remember, the Nanotyrannus thing is not going away until like we have confirmed evidence of like either if it is a juvenile T-Rex or is it a separate species. That's pretty much what's going on. But I'd say the Nanotyrannus thing, I'm still going to be completely in the middle of it. I'll still stay completely in the middle. Let's just see what the evidence tells us. But what that article was saying is that Nanotyrannus belongs to a group of tyrannosaurs that is very similar to Dryptosaurus, like the East Coast versions of tyrannosaurs of the United States. And if you should check out that Eons episode about talking about the East Coast dinosaurs that recently came out. Go check that out. It explains it really, really nicely. But does it really have to be that way? I'm not totally sure about that. I don't know. I really don't know. I probably would say that like it's possible, but there's not enough evidence to prove that right now. There's not enough evidence. We need more evidence to showcase what Nanotyrannus really is. What do you think about the CGI dinosaur designs in both Dino Deathmatch and T-Rex Ultimate Survivor, like the T-Rex, Nanotyrannus, Triceratops, and Gorgosaurus? So those shows, they're National Geographic shows. You can go check them out. They're on YouTube, and also I don't remember if they're on Disney Plus, but they were on Amazon for a little bit. I would say that the T-Rex design was really well done. I did like that design because of like it's nearly accurate to what T-Rex really looked like, and did like the quill-like feathers that were on the back of T-Rex. I did like that because it was like, wow, that's totally different from like other T-Rex designs. As for the Triceratops, like I thought it was okay. The Gorgosaurus, I didn't get too good of a detail on that one because I didn't pay attention to that one that much, but thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. The Nanotyrannus one where they actually showed like it has really long arms. Like I thought that was really, really weird. To be honest with you. But even though that like one of the evidence points to possibly being Nanotyrannus being its own species is that it's got longer arms compared to like T-Rex. But like we still need more evidence to prove that. But yeah, I'd probably say I would say the T-Rex design was not too bad. I would say most of those designs were not too bad. That's all I can say about that one. And your next one's here. Do you know what the conditions for a complete skeleton of a larger T-Rex and large adult long-necked sauropods to be fossilized intact? Well, that would have to be a significant flood, a significant like fossilization process. Like this would have to be a really large flash flood in order for them to actually be fully complete. You know, that would have to happen like that way. But the thing is that are we really gonna find an adult T-Rex in terms of completeness similar to Sue? Never know. You never know. Sue is 90% complete. And it's one of the heaviest T-Rexes to ever existed in terms of the fossil record that we have so far. Scotty is considered to be longer and taller than Sue. And it could possibly be slightly heavier than Sue, but when we look at Sue, Sue is actually a bit more girth. It has a bit more girth to that T-Rex, whereas Scotty looks a little bit more sleeker. And so we don't know what kind of process that would take, what kind of fossilization process that would take. It would probably be a really, really big flash flood. Really, really big flash flood in order for that to happen. Your next one. Do you know if there are any long-necked sauropods that lived in the Middle Cretaceous of North America besides the early and late Cretaceous? I think there was some. I can't remember the top of my head. I do know there were some. I just can't remember the top of my head. Because I do know that in North America, from like say, because like remember, because like there are types of sauropods that did live in the early Cretaceous, like at the end part of the early Cretaceous. Like you could look at North America, you know, you got Sauroposeidon, you got Astrodon. You know, those are long-necked dinosaurs that I know of that are considered to be like in the middle part of the Cretaceous. Like those are the only ones that I know of. But like any other ones, like say during the time of like Seats or like say before Acrocanthosaurus, I can't determine that really. I don't really know that one. I really don't know. But like late Cretaceous, yes, we have Alamosaurus, but then we got like the end early Cretaceous period, which is basically you got like, you know, Astrodon and Sauroposeidon. Those are the only ones that I know of. And then your last question, have always considered Walking with Dinosaurs as one of my favorite dinosaur documentaries, and what are your top 10 dinosaur documentaries from BBC, Discovery Channel, National Geographic, PBS Nova, and the History Channel? Oh, that's a long list. That's a long list. Top 10, that's that's a lot. Maybe I might do an extra episode about that. You know, maybe I'll do an extra episode about that. You know, like what are my favorite dinosaur documentaries? Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do that. Do an extra episode about my 10 favorite dinosaur documentaries. Please put that in the comments down below because that'll probably more likely be an extra episode. Be more of a fun thing type of situation. It's like, what are my favorite dinosaur documentaries? But yeah, in the comments down below, tell me what you guys think. Do you want me to do a video, an extra episode about my 10 favorite dinosaur documentaries? Please let me know. All right, Alex, what are your opinions about the design of Ceratosaurus that was in the television program When Dinosaurs Roamed America? I kind of liked it. Does it look shrink wrapped? Yes. Do I think it looks a little bit large compared to what it really was? But like, I think when you first see it, it does look like it's really, really large. Like, I think they did oversize it a tad bit, but not like, say, like they oversized it to the point of like it's bigger than Allosaurus or bigger than T-Rex. Not really that way. But overall, in terms of the design, like shrink without the besides the shrink wrapping, I'd probably say it's still a solid design. I'd still say it's a solid design. And like it looked pretty menacing when you actually looked at it, because like the horns on top of the eyes and even on top of the nose, it just looked really, really cool. Now the prognated hands, that was a problem. That was a problem. But even though the shrink wrapping, the prognated hands were the problems, but overall it was actually a really good design. I'd still say it's a really good design. But good question. But thanks for that question, here, Alex. Benjamin, your first question: was Dimetrodon the largest known meat eater of the Permian period? No. In terms of length, it could possibly be the longest one. But overall, in terms of weight and height and all that, no. That would belong to some of the Gorgonopsians. The Gorgonopsians would actually be the larger predators. See, Dimetrodon would have been the largest carnivore during its time, because Dimetrodon lived right around the early parts of the Permian to the middle parts of the Permian, but when you get to the late parts of the Permian, Dimetrodon is nowhere to be seen. It's just that the Gorgonopsians were the dominant predators. And so I'd probably have to go with like the Gorgonopsians were the larger ones. The Gorgonopsians were larger. Which of these long-armed theropods is the largest one in terms of mass and length? Therizinosaurus or Deinocheirus? I looked this up. What you're asking is that I did look this up. In terms of length and mass, Deinocheirus is actually the one that is longer and heavier. So that kind of says right there is, even though Therizinosaurus is taller than Deinocheirus, it is not heavier or longer than Deinocheirus, even though they're going to be pretty close in terms of length. But Deinocheirus is like 3 feet longer than Therizinosaurus. But that does answer your question there. But they're very close in length, but weight not so much. Deinocheirus is heavier, but lengthwise they're very close. It's just that Deinocheirus is like basically 3 feet longer. Appalachiosaurus versus Pistahyversor versus Gorgosaurus. Which one would emerge victorious? Ooh, Tyrannosaur, like 1v1v1. So 3 Tyrannosaurs going at it. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm probably going to have to give it to Pistahyversor. I have to give it to Pistahyversor because it's a more robust Tyrannosaur, and also it's got the much stronger bite force. Appalachiosaurus does have some agility and speed, but Gorgosaurus is way faster. But the thing is that lightly built animals going up against bulkier or more robust animals, it just does not work out very well against them because size is going to matter. And I probably would say that Pistahyversor is more likely going to win that one. And your last one, who would win, Postosuchus or Dimetrodon? So 2 animals that have not met each other. So Dimetrodon is from the Permian, Postosuchus is from the Triassic. And they can be found in the same continent. If you're talking about North American Dimetrodon and North American Dimetrodon, yes. But like they're from the same continent, but the thing is that they're in separate time periods. So Dimetrodon, Permian, at the end of the Paleozoic, where you got Postosuchus, which is which is in the Triassic, beginning of the Mesozoic. Who I think would actually be victorious? I'm going to go Postosuchus. Postosuchus has better bite force, faster, and all that. Even though Dimetrodon's going to hold its ground as much as it could, but the thing is that being a tad bit slower, and also that sail is going to be a little bit of a problem for Dimetrodon to go up against Postosuchus. Because like Postosuchus, all it can do is just if it bites those like very thin spines for the sail like that, Dimetrodon is going to be in agonizing pain, and that thing would be in the sail would be bleeding a lot. And also, Postosuchus could actually just bite right on top of the neck area of Dimetrodon very easily, very easily. And I think Postosuchus is going to win this one easily. That's just my opinion. But anyway, that's all the questions I got for you today. Next week will be a special episode. I'll let you get, and that will be on a terror bird, Brontornis. So stay tuned for that. It will be Brontornis, the terror bird, one of the terror birds, for October 31st, Halloween. So that'll be the Halloween episode of Prehistoric Facts. So how about that? You guys get a terror bird, one of the big terror birds, for a special episode next week. So that's awesome. But stay tuned for that. But you can still send me questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinochris71@gmail.com. Let's go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dinochris. Like the page, you actually post your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger. Messages are private conversations, so please put your questions in the comment section on any Facebook posts. And also for you YouTubers out there, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel according to my analytics, so that if you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet, so please feel free to hit that like button, subscribe, and because how the YouTube algorithm works, the more likes the video gets, the more likely the video gets spread out to people that are interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general, so please feel free to do so. And also share the video, share the channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs, prehistoric life, paleontology, and geology in general, so please feel free to do so. And you can also hit that notification bell so that way you can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out. And also for you YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section because I do read them all. Your questions do mean a lot on the Q&A episodes. All of you to send me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube. You guys are awesome. You're giving me some great questions for these Q&A episodes. It means a lot. Keep up the great work. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Threads. Same thing, at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of the people around you. Also, for your younger people out there, and make sure listening, your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. So that's motivation. You could have a good education. It's very important to have a good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. And so 2 weeks from Saturday will be my next event at the Marathon County Public Library in Wausau, Wisconsin, and that will be about Triceratops. So I will have I would actually have an actual fossil of a Triceratops on display, even a couple of replicas, and even a sculpture of a skull for this event. And there'll be a presentation that has a PowerPoint presentation to showcase the discovery of Triceratops, what did it look like, what its environment was, and also what kind of animals did it live with. And also, of course, talk about its extinction as well. So if you're going to be in the Wausau, Wisconsin area on November 9th from 2 to 3 p.m. Central Time, please feel free to come on down to the Marathon County Public Library in Wausau, Wisconsin to check out my presentation about Triceratops. You're going to learn a lot about Triceratops in this one. And so hopefully you guys can make it there. If you're in the Wausau, Wisconsin area, please feel free to come on down. All right, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.